Hello and welcome to another episode of Train Sim World 2, where I'm doing my best to drive virtual locomotives without causing major disaster. Or do I? Anyway, before I begin, I'd like to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and follow up with bell button to turn on the notifications and stay up to date with my latest content. I would also like to encourage you to join my Discord server, where you can interact with me and other Train Sim World fans, talk about the game in general, share some cool mods, or just chill. You can find link in description down below this video. So, we are back with another episode of our fantastic journey along Sand Patch Grade. In previous episode, we made a nice journey from Cumberland to Show Mine. And now we are ready to load coal. And that's gonna be today's episode. I'm gonna load coal at Show Mine, and perhaps, if the time will allow me, I might do another scenario, which is on our list, and that's gonna be run around at Yoder, because we need to turn around and get back to Cumberland. So I'm hoping for two scenarios. Let me switch to the game window before I explain everything further. So we still got those 3 missions to finish this service. We're gonna begin from loading, and then if loading mission is gonna be as short as I predict it's gonna be, we will go and perform run around at Yoder and get ready to get back from Yoder to Cumberland. Obviously that will happen in another episode. Right, so without any further ado, let's load this mission and let's get into it. Okay, so U876B, coal, loading at Show Mine. In this second part of the Show Mine run, we need to get all the cars loaded with coal. It should take us around 45 minutes. I predict it's gonna take much shorter. However, things might change, because from what I can see, my locomotive is turned off. Ooh, that is complication that I didn't expect. So let's begin. Oh, okay, my locomotive is in fact turned on. Right, so let me just get off my seat. Let's have a look at this panel back here. So it's raining, so I could use windows heaters. What else do I need? I don't need long hood headlights, but I'm gonna need short hood headlights. Single or middle unit, perhaps we can leave it as it is. Number lights, yes, we're gonna need that. Engine control, run. Okay, that seems to be alright. Perfect. We basically won't need a radio. What do we need here is generator field, that's for sure. Engine run, control on, dynamic brake on, gauge lights, yeah, we might need those. Heating air conditioner, we can leave it off. Step lights on. Fantastic. Let's configure our speed control. That's what it is. We're gonna go with slow speed control. And we're gonna set it so that target speed is gonna be 1.7 miles per hour. Yes, and let's turn the slow speed on. Fantastic. Right. And finally, in order to make sure that both locomotives will contribute to this goal, let's make sure that the second locomotive is properly set up. No, I don't want to give up control. but I need to inspect what is happening in this one. So, number lights are on. Distributed power doesn't have to be on. Long hood headlights, no, these can be off. Short hood might be on. Short hood trail, no, long hood trail, there we go. Okay, that seems to be okay. Now, control off, engine run off. Gauge lights can be off. Beautiful. I think that's good. Let's check the air brake. Okay, it's set on trail. Cut out. Fantastic. That's what we want. And that should be it. Is it? Oh, we can turn the radio off. We don't need it. Okay, that should be done. Let's close the door. And let's get back to our main locomotive. Let's close the crossing. Beautiful. We can eventually... Yeah, let's turn on distributed power. Radio can be on. We might need it eventually. Let's get on our seat. Right, so we need front headlights, back headlights, we can leave them off, we won't need them. Right, so now reverser has to be forward, automatic brake on release, independent brake is on release. So let's wait for brake pipe to actually load. Let's have a look at air brake. Oh, this one is set for trail and we don't want it to be set on trail, so this is gonna be lead. Let's save settings and the brake pipe is now charging. Fantastic. Okay, everything should now be set up correctly. Is it? Hopefully it is. Right, so let's sound the horn. Oh, in fact, I could... where is that? This light dimmer, this light off. Oh, we can turn it on off. But there should be... Oh, there we go. Wiper. Let's set it at 50%. Let's set another wiper at 50%. Just in case. There we go. Wipers are very useful. Okay. So now that the brakes should be released, reverser is set forward, we can now begin to roll. 2 blasts of horn, power handle at notch 1, which should start to give us some power. And indeed, the locomotive is now rolling very slowly, because we don't have to rush. The speed will be limited to 1.6 miles per hour anyway, or 1.7, can't remember how did I set it up. I think it's gonna be 1.7. Okay, it's holding at 1.8, 1.9. Okay, it's going down to 1.7, which is perfect. And that's how it's gonna stay. There's nothing more we can do. Let's have a look. Yeah, entire train is moving. And we're gonna continue at that speed up until we load all the wagons. So it's not gonna be super exciting mission, but it's gonna take some time, that's for sure. I think I might in fact perform a jump, because since we've set up everything correctly, then all we have to do is wait, and that's what I'm going to do. I will wait, and I'll be back with you when we finish loading. Alright, so we finished loading all the coal, and our current objective is to stop at Yoder siding. Oop. So I will set my power handle on idle, and I need to turn off speed control. So slow speed control, let's turn it off. Okay. And now I can carry on. For now I can let the train to roll on its own. In fact, I can even increase some speed. But I need to get to Yoder siding, which is 3.9 miles away. It took us a while to load all the coal, but, well, you probably haven't seen all that process going through. I showed you a couple of clips from it, but nothing too fancy. There was really not much of a speed control that I had to apply, because everything was happening automatically. Obviously, when the train came into that incline, I had to switch from powering the train to actually dynamic brake, and with a speed control applied, dynamic brake was trying to keep the speed that I've set up. I lowered it to 1.5 miles per hour for that process, but it was not necessary. I could easily set it up so that it can keep 1.8 miles per hour. But to be fair, there was not much of a pressure to actually do that. Obviously, since the train started to go down the incline, it started to speed up a little bit. It reached 2 miles per hour, and that's when I actually performed any extra operations on the speed. But other than that, you pretty much can let it go and go for a coffee. Anyway, we can now roll forward. Our signal is green, as you can see. There's no need for me to actually speed up too much. That's why I'm holding at low speed. And I need to travel like that for next 3 miles. Until speed limit will increase to 35 miles per hour. And then I will be able to actually increase it. Until then, all I have to do is to control so that I won't exceed the speed limit, because I'm driving downwards. So I might set it on notch 1 on dynamic brake. Oh, notch 2. Yeah, there we go. The train should now start slowing down without exceeding 15 miles per hour. And yes, it is. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, but notch 2 is definitely sufficient. We are entering even ground at this moment. Oh, now I'm climbing uphill, which is gonna help me a little bit. I'll let the speed to drop down to 13, perhaps 12 miles per hour. And then I will start powering up the locomotive to actually pull the wagons instead of push against them and slow them down. Just so that I got enough of a headroom to perform any of such operations and not exceed the speed limit. And there we go. We can now set power handle to notch 1. That should be sufficient. It's gonna take some time before engines will start rolling into different direction. There we go. Now I'm powering the train again, and I will attempt to pull it upwards, up that hill. It's not a strong hill, so we should be perfectly fine. And as long as I'm driving under the speed limit, there should be no issues whatsoever. The next signal is green. I still got 3.3 miles to go, so it's gonna take a little bit longer than I anticipated. But I didn't expect to go as far as Yoder just yet. I thought it's gonna happen in the next scenario. But it's not a big deal. I guess Dovetail didn't thought this mission through exactly as well as I anticipated. In fact, I should use a horn. I probably missed a whistle board, but it's not a big deal. We are moving at very slow speed, so people had plenty of time to notice that there is a train coming. Right, the hill is a little bit steeper now, so I increased the power by 1 notch. I might need to go up to notch 3, in fact. There we go. We are up to notch 3. The train's still pulling me backwards, though. Okay, another whistle board. Yeah, it's definitely getting a little bit harder for this train to pull this cargo. It shouldn't be too much of a big deal. There we go. we've entered a bit of even ground. So it will start reflecting on my speed really soon. There we go. The speed is slowly increasing. It is coming at a very, very slow rate though. So definitely getting back to Cumberland will be a huge challenge, because right now I got significant weight behind me. And the power of those locomotives haven't increased, in fact. It's still the same. So definitely going back will be a significant challenge. There we go, we are now approaching this railroad crossing. Speed is slowly increasing up to 11 miles per hour. Which is not a big problem. We still got a lot of power reserves though. There are still 5 notches to go before we hit the limit of that locomotive. And providing that we are climbing uphill with at least 3,000 tons of cargo behind us, I think we are doing a fairly good job. Okay, we are doing 10 miles per hour, which is alright. We should soon be approaching the junction. 950 yards to go. Okay, that looks pretty good. And in fact, jump out of the cabin. Have a look at our lovely train. I have to admit that the graphics in this game looks absolutely amazing. However, the lights are not exactly well rendered. You can see that especially when you sit inside the locomotive. But it's not that bad. On external camera it looks pretty good. It actually looks pretty amazing. Anyway, the hill became a little bit steeper, so I might need to increase the power by a notch. Yeah, we are losing speed. So let's increase it to notch 4. So that I got enough power to pull that cargo. It is gonna become a little bit harder. There we go. The speed is increasing again. So not too big of a deal. Okay, we have now reached 1,000 points. Oh, just look at it. That's the power. Even on such steep hill, we are actually increasing our speed, which proves that my locomotives are properly set up. And I still got some power reserves. Let's not forget about it. So 1.4 is one of the highest grades that I will encounter on this route. I think the top one, the exactly top one is 1.8 or 1.9, and it happens only for a very short period. So we should have no problems whatsoever. Okay, we now passed the green signal. The train has slowed down slightly, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I can go up to notch 5 to give it a little bit more power. And that seems to be sufficient. Remember that I'm still not using sand just yet. So while this cargo is indeed very heavy, we should have no problems on our way back. Okay. We are now on the main route. We've just passed the 35 miles per hour speed limit. So as soon as entire train will pass through this section, we will be able to speed up. Okay, I'm now up to 13 miles per hour. I can reduce the power by a notch. Oh, there we go. I can even reduce the power by 2 notches. Oh. Okay. What I'm gonna do, I'll let it coast so that the excess speed is gonna drop down. Oh, I'm in fact going downhill. So I'll introduce some dynamic braking, a little bit harsher than I expected, but I need to make sure to keep the right speed. I'd rather slow down a bit, especially moving downhill, instead of keep speeding up. Because I can always lower down on dynamic brake, which will let the speed to increase. Which is in fact happening now. There we go. So I can go up to notch 3, and perhaps that should be sufficient. You have to remember that there is a little bit of a lag between setting dynamic brake. Oh, there we go. I can now reduce dynamic brake to set up position, because I'm gonna need it in order to actually stop, because the train is gonna speed up right now, and it's gonna do that at a very high rate. There's a whistle board. There we go. We got 1.4 miles to go. Speed is now 21 miles per hour. At 24, I will introduce some dynamic brakes to make sure that I won't go too fast, because I don't want to go too fast. Not just yet. There we go. I will introduce notch 4 on dynamic brake. It's gonna take some time before it kicks in, but I want to make sure that the train won't be gaining too much speed. It will definitely help me to stop the train at the right moment. Just look at this. That extra weight is definitely a problem for this locomotive. Okay, we are now entering the even ground, but dynamic brake is working at full swing. Okay, I can keep reducing it very slowly. Oh, in fact, I could introduce a little bit more of that braking, because I need to slow down to 20 miles per hour. So I can do that using dynamic brake. There we go. Speed is now dropping. 24 miles per hour, 23. We got 900 yards to go. 22. 21. And we are down to 20. Okay, let's go back by a notch. Let's go back by 2 notches. Okay. Let's set it on notch 2. And let's see what's gonna happen. We are still slowing down. Okay. I'll leave it on setup. The back of the train might eventually give me a little bit of a push and increase my speed, but I'm moving at 14 miles per hour, which is perfectly fine. Not sure what's behind this turn. Okay, those are the light signals that I'm approaching. Is there another set? No, there isn't. So another set will be at the other end of this junction. And that's where I have to stop. There we go. 15 miles per hour. That's a perfect speed. Okay, 1.2 miles until red signal. And I'm moving downhill. So I will introduce notch 2 on dynamic brake. Because I don't want to speed up. Okay. In 1.6 miles, I have to stop. Which is perfect. This is just perfect. Well, the scenario took us a little bit longer. We are already at 55 minutes of recording, so I believe, including that first 5 minutes that I've spent talking and explaining what is my plan, then yeah, we are already like 5 minutes late in terms of length of this scenario. You obviously won't see that. I'm not sure how long exactly we took when it comes to the video, because I haven't edited that yet. I'm still recording. But I believe it won't be too long. So when we bring the train to a stop, I will perform the run around maneuver. And that's when we stop today's video, being ready to move ahead and get back to Cumberland. Okay, the speed limit will decrease in 160 yards. Perfect. Just perfect. Okay, the speed limit is now at 15 miles per hour. The train is gaining some speed, but that might be because... No, I was thinking that the back of the train might still be on an incline, but it's all on even ground. So right now, all I have to do is to stop in 350 yards. And that should be the end of the scenario. Okay. I will set the power handle to idle. Automatic brake is set to minimum reduction. We got 180 yards to go. You can already see the next signals. I will now release the brakes and keep controlling my speed so that I can stop at the right moment. Okay, we got 100 yards to go. I'm moving at speed of 8 miles per hour, which is very, very good. When I hit 50 yards mark, I can now bring the train to a stop. It's gonna take some time before it all stops. Just look at it. And now bring the brake to full service. There we go. Objective completed. And that's how we finished. So that is U876B called Loading at Show Mine. And I finished it with a bronze medal. The question is, why is that? Why did I finish with a bronze medal? I definitely managed to keep my speed for most part, apart from very, very short period of time during loading. So perhaps it is because I failed to load some of the wagons. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Okay, so that is the first mission. I failed to finish at the right time. Or perhaps... That is the good question. I'm not sure what caused this mission to lose me some points. Perhaps it was the loading. Okay. I will try and check it out. But, well, for now, that is the first mission that I haven't finished with a gold medal. Anyway, let's continue, because we still need to perform run around. And hopefully this time I won't butcher this service. Right, so in part 3, run the locomotives around the coal cars ready for the return run to Cumberland. It should take us around 15 minutes. So it's gonna just be a run around. Right, we need to uncouple vehicles. Oh, now we got helper. Right. Automatic brake is on full service. Let me just check the air brake. Oh, we are at cutout and trail. And we are going to delete and cut in. Let's save changes. Why is that? Well, we definitely need to brake our wagons. Okay. We need bright aux. Generator field on. Gauge lights on. Step lights can stay on. We need distributed power. For now the radio can stay on. Number lights on. We are on short hood lead. Okay. We need wipers at around... let's set them at 100%. Okay. Let's open these doors. I shall set this locomotive... Do I need to set it up? No. For now I don't need to set it up. We're gonna be running empty. But I need to make sure that the wagons won't roll out. So I'm gonna uncouple the wagons right now. I can climb up steps. Okay, stop at location as indicated. So reverser can go forward. This can be released. This can be released. Okay. And now we can add some power. There's no need to worry about proper settings of the locomotives, because in next scenario I will have to repeat the process anyway. So all I have to do is to set this bad boy up. And move it to the right place. Okay, I'm moving at 12 miles per hour. That's perfectly fine. In 800 yards I will have to stop. Okay, that should be perfectly fine. Alright, I need to stop in about 300 yards, which probably needs to happen shortly before the next signal. So I need to be very careful not to jump through it. Not entirely sure how this one is set up. 200 yards. So yeah, I need to go past those signals in fact and stop at the bridge. Okay. 100 yards. Yeah, so I need to crawl just behind those signals. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. 20 yards. 10 yards. Oh, I might in fact give it a little bit of a push. Come on, come on, come on. We need that 4 extra yards. Okay. We should be okay now. Right, so let's jump back to our locomotive. Now, we will set it at cutout, trail. Let's save this setup. In order to get everything set up properly, I will turn off the lights. I will set this off. This can be off. This one can be on handle off. This one can be on release. We should be okay. Alright. Oh, almost forgot. Reverser needs to be neutral. Now, this is gonna be long hood trail right now. Distributed power off. Radio is off. Long hood headlights is gonna be off. Okay. This locomotive now becomes a trailing one. So let me open the doors. And let me jump to the other end. Hopefully, the scenario is set up correctly so that I can actually switch the cabins. Oh, that's the wrong way. Now I should be able to set this bad boy up for distributed power, long hood lead, no, short hood lead, number lights on. Okay, long hood headlights are off. Engine control heaters, don't need that. Engine is started. Now engine run on, generator field on, control on. Okay, I can in fact turn gauge lights on. Oh. That's no good. Right, so I have to work with my locomotives set up as they used to be. Distributed power off. Short hood trail. Yeah. Dear. This is no good. Right, let's check the air brake as I'm here already. That's cutout trail. Okay, that's set up. That's handle off. That's release. Right, so I will have to operate everything from this locomotive, which is not ideal. No, I don't want to give up control. Yeah, this is definitely not ideal. Right, so let's turn radio on, distributed power on, short hood lead. Okay. We have to set everything up once more. I don't like what just happened. That's gonna be lead, cut in, save changes, and exit. Okay, I need to set reverser to reverse. Release automatic brake. Oh, turn the lights on. And the train began to roll. But obviously I don't want it to roll. At least not in that direction. Okay. In fact, if I would set back headlights to bright, is this gonna set up? Not exactly. It didn't turn the back headlights on. Okay, but we still need to go around our consist. And for some reason, I'm still bothered by that previous scenario. Why did the game give me only a bronze medal? Maybe... Yeah, maybe I failed to load some of the wagons, like, in full. Perhaps that is the case. Because obviously, when the train reached 2 miles per hour, it might have stopped loading the wagons in like 100%. And perhaps that's when I suffered from some point loss that was crucial for the gold medal. But that was unexpected. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really disappointed in myself. I was expecting a perfect run, and I failed. Anyway, I'm doing solid 24 miles per hour, and I'm reversing through this siding. Okay, I'm just going past my train. Yeah, these wagons doesn't look fully loaded. Just look at them. It's like, oh, okay. This one is not even rendered correctly, and they look empty. While they shouldn't be empty. They should all be loaded. Yeah, switching the camera doesn't solve the problem. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The fact that the game doesn't render it correctly is not a big deal to me. I still need to go around, get behind that junction, and connect to my train from the other side. When I connect the wagons, everything should be perfectly fine. I could go faster, in fact, but there is no need for such thing. I'd rather spend extra 10 minutes performing the same operation. Mostly because the game doesn't really push me when it comes to time limits. Unless that's the thing, but I doubt it. We just have to follow the signals, speed limits, perform all the operations that or as they should be done, and we should be perfectly fine. And obviously this time I'm hoping for a gold medal, and that bronze medal for loading should be a like unfortunate accident. I can't say it's poor design of the mission, because I believe that this small bump on my speed might be the culprit of all that what happened. Anyway, I am quickly approaching this signal, and I need to stop at the right moment. So I'm gonna introduce some brakes. Okay, I can now release the brakes. Still got 60 yards to go. Okay, at 10 yards mark I will introduce some brakes. There we go. Everything is perfectly fine. I can set reverser to forward. Release the brakes. And let's begin to roll. Now I need to go very slowly. Oh, and I need to contact the signaler. Proceed at restricted speed. Okay, I can now pass the signal at danger. Hopefully. Surprisingly, my signals haven't changed. but the signals for the track right next to me have changed. But remember, you need to contact with the signaler in order to be able to pass this signal at danger. Because it is just right now that I'm actually allowed to do so. If I wouldn't contact with the signaler, I wouldn't be able to connect to my wagons. And the mission would end up with a fail. So remember to press that tab button and select this option to contact with signaler. Right, I can proceed at speed of 12 miles per hour. That should be perfectly fine. Not too slow, not too fast. Okay, 380 yards. I'm going downhill, so I need to watch out on my speed. Okay, I can now introduce some brakes. Let's slow down to 5 miles per hour. Okay. There we go, 4.9. And now I need to be ready to introduce a little bit more of independent brakes so that I can gently connect with the wagons. There we go. I'm connected with all the vehicles. All I have to do is to wait a moment. Objective is completed and we finished. And what's our score? Silver medal. Why is that? Perhaps it's all about time. If that is the case, then those might be the first missions that actually introduce the time limit. That is very interesting. That is extremely interesting, because I made no technical mistakes in this one. I connected with the wagons, I didn't damage anything, but yet I got bronze and silver medal. So if anyone could potentially explain it to me, I'm more than happy to hear that, because something is clearly wrong. And it might be something that I do. It is probably something that I do. Or these scenarios are just weirdly designed. Anyway, guys, that is it for today's episode. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit disappointed in my performance, but that happens. Like, you don't have to be perfect at all times. I managed to finish most of the scenarios so far with a gold medal. Those two are, well, terrible mistake. Something went wrong, and I'm not sure what I did wrong, which is very interesting, but I will investigate on that at one point or another. And hopefully we will find a solution. Perhaps it is a time limit, and as you probably know my series, or know this series, I never cared about time limits, because I believe it's better to be late than sorry. And crashing 4,000 tons of steel is not a good thing to do. Anyway, first time in the series, I failed to achieve full score, which happens. I still did great, or did, well, maybe not great, but good. We managed to fulfill our tasks for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will be waiting for the next one, which is gonna come next week. And in that one, we will be taking all those wagons back to Cumberland, which means we will have to climb uphill and then descend downhill with all that load pushing on us, having only 2 locomotives taking care of all that load. So it's going to be interesting, it's going to be exciting, and hopefully I will succeed with my first try. If I won't, well, I will have to repeat that mission until I do, isn't it? Right, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to get informed about my new content, hit that notification bell button and don't forget to share your comments down below. Also, don't forget to join my Discord server where you can get notifications about my content regardless of your YouTube settings. So if you prefer Discord notifications, you can do that on my channel or on my Discord server. Link is in description down below the video. Have a great day and see you all later. Later. Out.